Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the movie Warcraft. Now, overall I thought this was a pretty good movie, and a good start to a franchise, and I don't understand the amount of negative reviews that I've been seeing on it. Yes, there's some issues with it, but all movies kind of have their issues. I'm not saying that this is perfect, but I'm seeing this worrying trend where we shit on movies, and I don't think that certain movies need that. It's either really, really good that I'm seeing, or it's really, really shit. But there's a lot of in between with this. And this one I don't think deserves as much hate as it's been getting, similar to Batman vs. Superman. So, it starts off kind of showing like the orcs and everything, showing Duratan, the kind of one orc that we follow. He's like the leader of his clan and all that, trying to do what he can for his people to provide for him, make sure that his wife and his unborn child are alright. And their world's dying, they need to find a new world. So they're like big head honcho warlock Gul'dan is going to use this spell magic to open this portal, put in a force to overtake this other world, and he's going to use the spell magic by powering it up by siphoning off the lives of these other race. And he's got this other orc that's like half orc, half human, Garona with him, and he starts up the portal and everything, and they start going through, and he takes his wife with him, and of course that does complication because she's pregnant. You're using magic that takes life and uses it to power this stuff. Don't you think there's going to be some complications? So what happens is they get through, the wife gives birth, but the baby's dead. So the Gul'dan uses the fell magic to take the life from a deer and infuses it into the baby. The baby comes alive, and it go well, and it's kind of cool. It acts like a cute little orc baby going and all that stuff. It's really kind of cool. And the CGI with the orcs is really good. I mean, I think it's pretty good considering where we've gone with CGI, acting with other people and everything. And I mean, there's some weirdness when they're acting with other humans, and especially in like battle scenes, you can see some weird stuff going on. But overall, I think it's done really well, and you can really see the actors conveying through the orcs. And of course, now Gul'dan's plan is to get more lives to make another portal to bring through the rest of the horde. And what he's doing is he's got some orcs that are not beholden to the foul magic, and some that are. That means he's got more control over them. They got more power and everything, and the spell's a corrupting influence. So after all that kind of starts happening, we cut to our alliance leader, Lothar. Well, he's not the leader at the moment, but he's our kind of gateway to the humans. And he's having his like conversation with the dwarves. We kind of get to see what they're doing. They're kind of the tinkers and everything, doing guns and all that, which leads to some kind of cool stuff later on because the humans then use the guns in certain fights, and it's just really kind of cool to kind of get the medieval sword fighting, but it's kind of like blunderbusses and stuff. So it's funny seeing the dwarf kind of like run and give him all this stuff, and he has to go back to the city to his king Lane, and he sees that there's some disturbances. Villages are being ransacked and everything. People are disappearing. We gotta find out what's going on. So he sends him off to find the Guardian. And that's mainly because this one magician, Khadgar, had inspected the bodies of like a garrison that had disappeared, and like people were dead, and he saw that there was certain kind of magic there, the fell magic. He's like, we have to tell the Guardian right now. And no one has seen the Guardian in like 6 years or whatnot, so they get there, and as Lothar's going up to talk to the Guardian, Khadgar's like looking around the library and sees this one beam leading into this certain book. And he picks up the book, kind of takes it with him, and the Guardian's like, you're gonna try to be the Guardian. And he's like, oh god, what's going on with you? He's kind of weird and all that. So they start looking into the fell magic and everything. They start going on to kind of stop what's going to be happening with like other villages. And they run into a group of orcs. Medivh, the Guardian, sees the fell magic, starts doing a spell and tries to like dispel it, and kills the ones that are under control of the fell. And this one orc gets his hand blasted off by Lothar, and he becomes Black Hand. And Duratan does escape, but Garona and another orc are captured. And Garona is like talking about him, it would be much honor. We're a warrior race. We need to fight. This is how we usually do things. And the king's trying to be diplomatic. Be like, is there anything else you can tell me about your people? We don't want to hurt you or keep you here as a prisoner because we just want to stop the hostilities. And they keep going and finding out that they're going to be using these in a ritual to bring more. And it starts leading to other kind of cool stuff that they're going through. And of course, the Guardian helps the king out after they went to a meeting between Duratan and the humans, because the humans had scattered out the place to see what's going on. They're trying to build this and use the sacrifices of the lives. And Duratan's like, we need to meet. It's like, and then that's when you learn that even though we've been hearing the orcs speak in English, they've actually been speaking their own language. And Garona's like talking to the king, translating and everything. He's like, I want my people to survive, and the fell's corrupting. It's evil. We need to stop this. And then, of course, there's an ambush because one of his own orcs betrayed him, and that leads to them being captured and Lothar losing his son, and people kind of questioning what's going on with Medivh and him being a guardian. And Khadgar actually goes off to this other place of like the mages and finds this other being that tells him that the only way to protect the light from dark and dark from light, that's how you defeat this kind of stuff. And it was kind of cryptic, and we don't know kind of what that means exactly. Because as it goes on, we find out that Medivh has been infected by the Fel himself. And that either through like the travels or anything, because it wasn't really quite clear. Because while this is going on, Duratan is challenged by Gul'dan, and they fight in a one-on-one fight, but Gul'dan uses his Fel magic to pretty much kill him, and everybody else is pissed off because that's not honorable. And he uses the Fel to get control back on him and make Blackhand more powerful, and it kind of leads to the kind of climax where the human forces are going up against the orc forces, kind of stop the gate and everything, and Lothar and Khadgar are going up against Medivh to try and stop him from continuing the portal, because him and Gul'dan have kind of unwillingly been working together because the Fel is corrupted and doing some kind of demonic thing to Medivh. And as that's going on, they're like, everything's kind of fighting, and Medivh is stopped and somehow like cured a little bit into that Khadgar somehow is in the embrace of the Fel and then like stops it and gets it out of Medivh, and he opens up this other portal, bringing up, like takes the portal and inverts it to Azeroth and to the main city of the Alliance, and all of the other like captives and everything are sent back to there, except it's stopped because he dies, and the King Lane tells Garona to kill him so that way she gets honor and can be like on the inside of the orcs. And that was kind of interesting and cool. And while this is going on, there's a lot of stuff going on in this movie. And that Duratan's wife does escape with the help of the orc that betrayed them. And she gets out and kind of sends Goel down a river, kind of Moses style, and then her and this one orc fight, and they are both killed. And we see Goel at the end, being his little orc baby self, as like other people gather him up. So he's going to be important. And it'll be interesting to see how the Fel affects him since he's a baby, and if Gul'dan will have the same control over him, or what's going to happen there. So Lothar and the rest of the Alliance use the death of the king as their kind of impetus to form the Alliance. And in order to get that body, Lothar had to fight one-on-one with Blackhand, and did it, and the orcs let him leave with the body because he did it honorably. And Gul'dan's telling them all to kill him. And it's interesting to see the division lines, because this movie did a good job of showing that the orcs aren't all bad, and neither are the Alliance. It's just this kind of opposing viewpoints and everything that are probably going to keep going on, that they won't be able to mesh well. There's going to be too much bad blood that one side's always going to be going at the other. And my main issues with it were sometimes It's mainly the lore part. I mean, there's a lot of lore in this movie that you need to know, and it has to be done in such a way that you kind of get overload, and you're like, "What's going on? Who's that? Oh my God!" But it's really enjoyable. It's a world that you want to learn more about and figure out more about, and I'm excited to see that going forward, and hopefully we get that. And there's just so many likable characters. I thought that most of the acting was done pretty well, especially on the orcs and humans and those with like CGI and everything. My main thing is like it was it's just that the war. It's kind of hard to get into. They had to move the pacing, moved pretty quick into a lot of different places. But overall, I really enjoyed it and hope to see more from this franchise. So that's my opinion on the movie. Tell me what you guys think. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.